And yeah, I'm going to start this reading right now for Pisces. So the first card you have your past is a death. I'm getting this feeling of, excuse me, sorry about that. Yeah, I think you were putting an end to something, but you weren't entirely putting an end to it. It was like you're putting an end to this in your mind. And I think this was either a relationship, or it could have been a love relationship or a friendship, one or the other. Or maybe it was, a little bit of backwards and forwards going on between friends and lovers. So, there was a little bit of confusion around that as well, maybe. And maybe that was partly why you wanted to put an end to this, I think, because you might have just grown a bit tired of this going backwards and forwards. And I'm just seeing you thinking, maybe you're thinking something like, what's changed? I'm thinking, what's changed? That's what I'm seeing. I think excuse me, I can't, sorry about that. I think you're going backwards and forwards with this person. You're probably breaking up and then getting back together again and all of that. And I think the first time, or maybe even the first few times that you got back together again, things were fantastic. I think, there was probably more passion because you both thought, you'd nearly lost each other and all of that, and you're back together again. But then when this happens over and over again, which is what I think might have been happening here, it loses something each time. It loses its gloss, if that makes sense. It's a bit like, when you tell the same joke over and over again, it's only funny one time and then it's not funny again. And, with a relationship, you kind of never quite get that same passion back again that you had at the start. And also, each time you get back together and break up and you kind of experience that breakup with them, you take all of that baggage with you of the breakup as well. So especially if it's done several times, it's like, you have that kind of negativity around you if you get back together again. So yeah, I know I'm going on and on about this, but I think you probably might have contemplated getting back together again with this person, but then you thought, what's changed again? Why do this? That's what I'm seeing you were kind of thinking. It's like, why? Why do this again? Why go through this again over and over again? Nothing's been done to fix anything. So why should I go back? That's the sort of thing you were thinking. And I think that's kind of how you came to the end of this, realizing that, no, I really, really don't want to go back to this. That's what I'm seeing there. So the next card you have your past is the Three of Pentacles. So yeah, if this is all resonating, you had a lot of high emotions that you were going through. It's always horrible when you have to go through something like this. But, I think you kept up with everything else. And, you were still working, you were doing everything else you had to do. And maybe you weren't concentrating as well as you would normally be. But that's understandable. I mean, of course, when you've been through breakups and you've been through this and it's finally like, right, that's it. This is the final breakup. Of course, there's always some sadness around this. No matter what you think of them, there's that. So yeah, that's understandable that you had all these emotions at this time. But I'm seeing a few not work problems, but as sort of a clash of personality types, I think. I think you have a really creative, really interesting way of seeing things. You come up with some really, really good ideas, some really different ideas. And I think it can be hard for other people to be able to see your vision sometimes, if that makes sense. You have a really good imagination. And so, for example, if someone showed you a plan that they had, you'd be able to see the finished thing really, really easily. You'd know exactly what they were talking about. That's your vision, that's your imagination. And not many people have that. So I think you do have to do a lot of convincing when you want to get an idea across, especially in the workplace. You have a lot of extra work to do to kind of convince people. And, sometimes you get there, sometimes you don't. Sometimes they just don't understand what you're doing at all, what you want. But I think at this time, you're in one of these kind of frustrating situations where, someone just wasn't seeing what you were trying to do. They just didn't understand what you were talking about at all. So If this is resonating with you, I think what's going to happen eventually is that someone else might step in. It might be a new boss, might be someone who you're teaming up with. Somebody else is going to take control of this. I'm not seeing you having your way while this person is around who doesn't understand what you're doing. And, while they're dealing with you, that's not going to happen. But someone else is going to step in, I think, eventually, and they're going to see this through, because I do think that this is going to be finished. I am seeing you getting this happening, or having this happening. So yeah, don't give up on this yet. It is going to go through in the end, I think. And I think in your workplace, it's just a matter of aligning yourself with like-minded people if you can. I know you can't always do this. In the workplace, you're thrown in with, some different kinds of people, let's say. So the last card you have, your past, is the Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, I'm seeing this relationship again, this kind of breaking up, getting back together, because this is this Wheel of Fortune kind of turning round and round again. And I think it turned around one too many times until you're just exhausted and you just had to leave this thing behind. Now, again, I think you were over this in your mind, but maybe you hadn't gotten to the stage where you were ready to leave physically. So, because I'm just looking at the jackal on this card, and jackals can be tactical and they can be calculating. That's the character that they can represent sometimes. And, I'm not saying that you're calculating or manipulative or anything like that. I'm just getting this feeling that, you had to plan this for practical reasons, but maybe also for emotional reasons as well. I'm just getting the sense that you had to wait for the right time, and maybe you had to sort of plan all of this out until you're ready to kind of do this. And you will be able to do this, if you're in the middle of planning this. I see that you will be able to get through this. You will be able to get out of this situation. This is positive. This is fortune going your way in the Wheel of Fortune. And I think the right time, the exact right time, actually will just suddenly come to you, if that makes sense. It's like fortune's going to suddenly spin in your favor, and you'll be able to do this. And you'll probably end up doing this quite quickly. It's like you'll be planning and thinking and wondering, am I going to get through this? Am I going to get through this? And then this opportunity is going to arrive, and then you'll just be ready to move really quickly. So that's what I'm seeing in that. I hope that makes sense. So the first card you have, your present, is the Ten of Wands. Yes. This is a bit of a slow reading, actually. There's a lot of waiting for things to happen, waiting for the right moment. And I don't know if you're actually planning on physically moving out of home. It might be that you're still living with this person and you're planning on moving out. Maybe that's the sort of thing I'm seeing in this card. Because this man's obviously he's carrying this great big burden. He can't see where he's going. So you might be struggling to see where the end of this is. And that's kind of what I was seeing in the Wheel of Fortune as well. But, he's walking toward a home. So either you're going to find a new home, an actual real home, a physical home, or it might be a new emotional home. It could be one or the other, or it could be both. I think there is a new relationship waiting for you. I think it is going to happen for you when you've dropped all of this old energy. And I don't think the timing of this is something you have a lot of control over. I think you're doing what you can, but a lot of this is about waiting for the right time. But it is going to come to you. I mean, you have the Wheel of Fortune, and I've seen that was going to come to you quite quickly again. So, if you're in this struggle in the Ten of Wands and you can't see the end, there is going to be an end. So don't just sit there thinking, oh, I'll never get the end to this. Keep on planning, keep on doing whatever you can with what you have. And the more you do that, the more prepared you'll be, and you'll be able to get through this, when this opportunity comes to you. So the next card you have for your present is the Page of Wands. So again, this is about creativity again. You know, you are very, very creative. I've seen that again here. And you're probably quite artistic as well. You might draw, you might sing, you might do an instrument. It's something, or play an instrument, I should say. I keep on seeing that, you know, you're just so creative, and it's been suppressed a bit, actually. I don't think you've had much space in your life recently, or even in your head, to be all that creative. And I think, you know, it's come out in other ways, maybe. I think, you know, you probably express it in other ways, like, you know, maybe in the music you listen to, or it might be the clothes you wear, something like that. Because that happens. I mean, when you suppress creativity, it has to come out in some way. But I think there's something creative that you love to do, whether that's painting or acting or music. It's something. And that's another thing that you're going to be able to revisit again once you've dropped this big burden. I'm actually seeing you working on something really, really different. You might be, you know, drawing about it now, making sketches. You might be writing about your ideas right now in a notebook or something. I think you've probably been thinking about this particular thing for a long, long time. And maybe you're thinking something like, you know, after this is all over, I'll be able to do this, I'll be able to do that. And you will be able to do that. Don't give up on these ideas either. You're going to have this headspace for this soon. And, you know, I'm seeing actual space as well. I'm seeing headspace and real space. You know, I'm actually seeing, not outer space, but I'm actually seeing space for you to work in. You know, it might be a studio for you to work in, or it might have, you know, you might just have extra room to work in. It might be that as well. So yeah, I am seeing you are probably going to move into some other kind of space, or some other kind of house or apartment, something like that. That's what it might not be, but that's what I'm seeing in this card. So the last card you have your present is the Empress. Beautiful, beautiful, nurturing, loving card. So yeah, okay, I'll just tell you what I'm seeing in this card. Someone's looking out for you. Someone's worrying about you, maybe, or they're thinking about you, definitely. And I think they might want to offer you something. And this is something that might help you. It might help you to move forward with all of this. And I think whoever this is, they're probably going to be contacting you soon with this offer, with this help. And it's something you're going to really, really value. I'm seeing that. You're going to hold it close to your heart. It's something that's going to really help you. I keep on seeing that. And I keep on getting this feeling that they really want to help you. And they probably don't know what kind of situation you're in, or exactly what's happening with you at this time, but they instinctively know. It's like they can feel when you need to be taken care of. So, you know, it might not be a huge thing that they offer you at this time, but I think it's going to help you in an emotional way. It's like, you know, just by looking at this thing, whatever this is, it's going to give you a feeling of being cared for and being loved. And you'll be able to take this with you wherever you go as well. This is really, really beautiful. You know, I think you're going to be in closer contact with this person in the future. And I'm seeing patience here as well. They're a very patient person. And I'm getting the feeling that this will be slow. I actually think this could turn into a love connection or a relationship for you, and that's what I'm seeing in the Ten of Wands as well. This is what's coming up for you. I think they might have more offers for you again in the future. I'm seeing a lot of giving. I'm seeing a lot of generosity coming from them. This is a really, really kind person, and I think they can really sense that you're not quite ready for something right now, but you will be at some time in the future. So they have a lot of patience around that. That's what I'm seeing in that card. It's so beautiful. I love that. So the first card you have for your future is the Ten of Pentacles. So again, this is this person in the Empress card. They want to take care of you. They want to protect you, because I'm just looking at this kind of bridge, this archway, and an archway protects people, you know, from the rain and the snow and whatever. The kind of people kind of stand under that when it's raining. So this person wants to protect you, and they'd also love to build with you. They'd love to build a future with you. Again, very slowly. They want this to happen very, very slowly. They're very patient. And I think this suits you going slowly, actually. I'm not seeing you wanting to rush into anything. So again, this has really, really good potential. They're a sensitive person. I'm seeing that as well. And I think they really appreciate you. They appreciate your creativity, or they're going to. Yeah, they're very sensitive in that way. So they suit you. This person suits you. They really do. So the next card you have for your future is the Magician. Yeah, manifestation. They want to manifest. They want to manifest a future with you. And I think they'll probably get what they want, because the Magician gets what he or she wants. They always do. So I think they know you. I think they know that they're not going to manifest this quickly. They know that this is going to take time. All the best manifestations do. But they don't mind that. I think they'd rather wait to make sure that the timing and everything's right. And also they want to wait and make sure that you're completely happy with all of this, that this is what you want. Because I'm seeing a contrast here between this person and this other person in the Death card. I think they kind of tried to hurry things up a little bit too fast for you, and you're a little bit worried about that in the beginning. But this person's very patient. They don't mind how long it takes you, whatever. They're happy to wait. They don't mind. And they're going to be very sensitive, very thoughtful about what you want. I'm also getting this feeling of being yourself, being able to be yourself. And you're going to feel yourself around them, feel like yourself around them. You're not going to have to pretend or any of these things. And I think also you're going to be yourself, because I think you're going to have this time in between relationships. So you're going to finish up with this one. You're going to have this time. So you're going to grow back into yourself. It's like you're going to find yourself again. I know that sounds a bit cringy, but that's going to help you to be yourself. And then they'll be ready for you, and they'll accept that. They'll accept you for who you are. So yeah, I'm picking up on this feeling of feeling alive again as well. If that makes sense. So that's how you're going to feel around them, all these positive things. And, you know, you really deserve this. This is really, really good. And I think I'm getting this. I think I'm picking up on all these things about this new person and everything about them and all these positive things. And I think these are all messages for you to help you to get out of this old situation, and also for you to see what's at the end of this. You can see that, yes, I'm in this big burden now. I'm in the 10 of Wands. It's really hard. It's horrible. I can't see the end. I've got all these wands in front of my face. But this is here, these descriptions that I'm seeing in these cards are messages for you to see that when you're at the end of that 10 of Wands, you will have this lovely new beginning with someone else at the end of it. It's kind of keep going, keep going. This is what's at the end of all of that. So yeah, the last card you have for your future is the Hierophant. So yeah, again, I'm seeing a few things in this card. Again, I think this is about this person. Again, this is manifestation, things coming from the spiritual world into the onto earth, into reality as we know it. You know, because the monk on the left hand side of this Hierophant, you probably can't see. I'll move it up so you can see. So yeah, the monk on the left of this Hierophant, you know, he's wearing the red roses for manifestation, and the other monk on the right hand side has white lilies on his outfit, and white lilies can symbolize death or anything that's not of this world. Obviously, death is not of this world, you know, when you pass over to the other side. So it's like what's happening in the metaphysical world or the spiritual world is coming along, and it's being manifested into this world. So they are manifesting this. They are manifesting you into their world. That's what I'm seeing there. So I think this person might be either in teaching or something like that, lecturing. They might be older than you. I'm seeing them standing up in front of a group of people teaching them. Now, the other thing I'm seeing here is they are a sensitive person, but they can also be quite authoritative in the right situation. So definitely in their workplace, they're in a place of, or in a position of authority, and they speak with this authority to whoever's listening to them, especially who they're teaching. So, yeah, what I'm seeing is not many people get to see that sensitive side of them. That's left to their loved ones. And you're going to see that side of them that these people who they teach or whoever's in the workplace don't get to see. Because this Hierophant's wearing red on the outside and white on the inside. So it's like they're bold on the outside, they're commanding on the outside in the workplace. And on the inside, they're kind of sensitive, they're soft. And that's the person you're going to get to see. You're going to know that side. And not many people get to know that side. That's what I'm seeing in that card.